Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you another video. All right, so I'm doing preliminary homework on the Suns because I know we have a big game against them tomorrow. And of course, I'll have an entire video having run down even more homework tomorrow about that game. But as of right now, I just want to give you a couple thoughts. Um, okay, first of all, the Lakers, they're going up against the Phoenix Suns team. Has lost 4 out of their last 5 games. 3 of the teams that they lost to were really good teams. The Kings, the Warriors, and the Bucks in a row. Most teams are going to lose those 3 games, especially if you don't have your all your stars. So you got that's 3 of the toughest games you're going to see on anybody's schedule in any consecutive way. So that's what I understand. Then they had a game against the Magic like we did. They beat the Magic. In fact, they beat the Magic in a barn burner. They barely won. They got a shot block by Josh Okogie, won the game for them. And then they proceeded to go up against the Thunder and lost again. So what I'm telling you is, this Phoenix Suns team, they need a win. They need a win. We ran into a team like this a couple weeks ago. I think it was, I don't remember who it was, but it was the same dang type of dynamic where they had been losing like crazy. Probably it might have been the Timberwolves or Memphis or the Knicks. I don't remember. One of those teams that we lost to. One of them had a similar situation like this where they had lost a lot of games in a row or a lot of games in a nice little flurry, and it was in a they were basically in a position to really fall off a cliff if they didn't beat us, and they got us. The thing about this situation is it's pretty dire for Phoenix because they're right now trying to keep from falling out of 4th place. Now we know if you're in 4th place, you at least can secure yourself 1 round of home court advantage, which is going to be very important for the Phoenix Suns. KD's not 100% healthy, and their bench is kind of all over the place. So what happens is if they lose this game against us, depending on what happens with the Clippers tonight, they got to match up with somebody. Thunder, I think. If the Clippers win that matchup, if we turn around and beat the Suns tomorrow, I don't know what's going on around those other teams. There's a lot that other stuff has to happen. Other teams are going to play to move things around. New Orleans, for example, they play tonight against the Spurs, so they'll probably get that victory, that kind of thing. So who knows what else is happening around it? But I can tell you this. If those 2 things happen, the Suns move down to 5th place. And in my mind, they're officially in the mix in terms of they're in the mix with the rest of these teams that are in this flurry. Now, if they win this game, they still keep a little breathing room between falling out of 4th place and got back into the fray with the rest of these teams all the way down to 13th place, because that's what's happening. The Clippers and the Suns are trying to keep from falling back into the range of the rest of these teams that could fall out of the playoffs with 2 losses or 3 losses. So that's what Phoenix has on the line tomorrow. If we beat them, they fall into this pack. Out of the 4th place into a space where they don't have home court advantage and into this pack where they could actually fall into the play-in tournament or even out of the play-in tournament if they lose more games in this flurry. The way that they're losing. If they keep losing like this, they may fall all the way out of the playoffs. Nobody sees that coming. Nobody expects that to happen. I'm not betting on that. That's probably not going to happen. But if we beat them, it gets real for them. If they beat us, it gets real for us. Right now, we're in 11th place, half game, if I'm not mistaken, behind 10th place. But if we lose that game, we fall a full game behind 10th place. Full game, and depending on other stuff that's going on around us. So, as much as the Suns obviously need this game to keep themselves from falling out of their position, we need it 10 times more to keep them falling all the way out. But if we win, we get to push ourselves up into that range of teams that can get a little security in this thing. And if we win a couple games in a row, maybe we can find ourselves in the 7th spot, 6th spot, or if things go crazy, 4th spot, 5th spot, because that's what's in play. It's not likely. You got to basically win all your games and other people got to lose. But I mean, that's the type of thing you're dealing with because we're only literally 2 games or a game and a half out of 5th and 4th place. Like 2 games out of 4th place. So it's like even though people don't see nothing like that actually manifesting, what I'm saying is I don't know that people are paying attention to the fact that Phoenix has lost 4 out of the last 5 games. So, it don't look like things are going to get a lot easier for them if they don't beat the Lakers. And what I also am telling you is Devin Booker had about 46 points in that Thunder matchup, and nobody else really had more than like 15 after that. So the rest of their bench is playing. Nah, I ain't seen the highlights yet. So like I said, I'll come to you guys with an entirely different video tomorrow once I lay eyes on them. But I looked at a couple, good stats from all the games, and I'm telling you, that's what I've learned. That Phoenix is struggling bad. I looked at, as I always do, looked on IG, checked their Suns fan page. It was a celebrity that showed up to their game, so they had a little scenario where the mascot presented or something. I don't even remember. It didn't even show us what he presented her. That's the funny thing. I have no idea what it was, but I guess they gave her something. But the way that the TikTok started, the Instagram post started, it had Rainwright. Like they showed him, and then he pointed in the direction of the celebrity, and then the mascot walked up and presented something to the celebrity. But Rainwright was the focus in the comment section. Essentially, what they've been saying is this dude has been playing bad. 0 for 4 in the last game, no stats whatsoever, 3 fouls. That's it. That's all he did. No rebounds, no nothing. And then you look in the other game before that, I think he was like 1 for 4 or something like that. He's playing trash. So that's a noteworthy thing. Phoenix Suns fans are not particularly vibing with Rainwright's minutes. And him being on the floor, according to the stuff I saw, is equivalent to them not being successful. So we got to try to attack him, see if he's going to give them anything at all. If not, go after him. I think he does good things on the defensive end. This is definitely somebody with big shoulders and stuff like that. So he's not exactly somebody you want to target on the defensive end. But what I'm saying is you target him in other ways. And you make sure that he's the focal point of what it is that makes life very difficult for Phoenix. They're not scoring in the paint like they need to. They're all over the place from behind the arc. They had one game where they shot 46% from behind the arc, which is the Thunder game. And then they had a whole other game where they shot like 20-something% from the arc, like the game before that, or something like this. So this is not a team that's playing consistent basketball. It's basically Devin Booker or bust for them. That's where we're at with them. You might get a little something out of Landry Shamet. You might get a little something out of Josh Okogie on the defensive side. Terrence Ross hitting shots. Cam Payne may show up, may not. That kind of thing. But their bench is not where it needs to be. They definitely need KD to come back and make everything make sense. Chris Paul's healthy. The inefficiency wasn't there. Was there in the last game. I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter because he got like 11 assists. Oh, and also a good thing about tomorrow's game is that we're expecting Ayton to be out. So that's a massive, massive positive for the Lakers. If he is, in fact, a scratch for that game, changes everything, especially given the fact of what our weaknesses are. So what I understand is they were able to work out Tristan Thompson and Tony Bradley. According to coach, nothing is imminent. I don't expect them to tell us anything's imminent, but I do expect them to sign one of them dudes, and I expect them to sign one of them dudes tonight. I don't know what's educated to say in this situation. Obviously, it's more to play than to simply just pick up a guy and bring him in like we want to think it is. It's probably much more to do with the legal aspect of it and the financial aspect of it than the Laker fans probably want to hear. But I hope they're able to clear whatever hurdles are there to make sure that this player is added. This ain't the time to just kind of blow smoke at the Laker fans by bringing in 2 centers that you have no intention of signing. You really do need to fill the spot. You do need a center. And you kind of need that center sooner than later. Now, the Phoenix game, like I said, if Ayton's not going to play, you're dealing with Rainwright. You're dealing with Bismack Biyombo. Those are good centers, but you're not going to particularly need to have AD play like a monster in order to see yourself succeed. Your guards should be able to help sustain if they play good basketball. And that's important. Today was picture day, and the vibes did not look good to me, man. People look like they didn't want to be there. I'm not going to hold you. I think players are putting on a good face, but you can see the tension behind the smiles. It's just not a fun time to be a Laker right now. The team ain't winning like they're supposed to be. Don't have a full roster because players not on the floor. You got star players in their mood, role players in their mood. I don't know what's going on, but I didn't see a confident Laker bunch in the pictures, bro. I didn't. I saw a bunch of people that didn't want to be there. And y'all know BDF 44 ain't never going to lie about stuff like that. But LeBron's body language showed me he did not want to be in the room. He ain't happy. And he want people to know he ain't happy in the picture for picture day. And that's telling to me. I just know LeBron James is a demonstration person. He wants your body. He's going to show you what's really going on with his body language, and he didn't look happy to me. Neither did AD. Neither one of them look happy. So I just think this over, y'all. I'm not going to lie to you. The Lakers don't find a way to win games, and I don't even think they're really overly confident about winning down the stretch of this season. I don't think this team is overly confident looking at the picture day stuff. And I just think that people are kind of like, we're going to go out there, we're going to see what we got, but we got about 5 more minutes worth of fight for you before we mail it in. That's what it looked like to me, man. That's the body language. That's the body language. If guys lose a couple more games, they will be mailing it in. And that's what I know. This is not, I don't know. Guys will come out and determine whether or not they want to see themselves as a team that can contend for a playoff spot when they go up against a Phoenix Suns team and do whatever it is they're going to do at home. You know what I mean? That's really what it comes down to. I don't think anybody's overly excited about us beating the Magic. I think the overall consensus is the same way I felt it was after the game. It was like, we struggled against this team. AD played like trash. We needed Austin Reeves to have the best game of his life in order to even beat these guys. We should not be happy about none of this. If we have to count on Austin Reeves to go for 35 points in order for us to beat the Magic, what is it going to take for us to beat the Suns? What is it going to take for us to beat the Clips? What is it going to take for us to beat the Utah Jazz when they're playing well, Timberwolves when they're playing well, OKC when they're playing well, a Chicago Bulls team that has finally found its confidence? And that's another thing. I think we literally, and I mean literally, may be facing the Chicago Bulls at the absolute worst time to see them. This might be in all of the season, we got a back-to-back against the Chicago Bulls, and I think they're playing the best ball that they've played all season. That's exactly what I'm telling you. And they are fighting for their playoff lives with Patrick Beverley as the heart and soul of what they're doing, and they're figuring it out. With small ball lineups, which we could probably take advantage of, they're figuring it out, and they're beating teams they ain't got no business beating, and they're fighting hard in games, and their fan base is happy. Very, very happy. I've been, as I pay attention to Phoenix, I paid attention to Chicago too yesterday after they had gotten a victory. I looked in the comments section. Those people were singing Pat Beverley's praises. Chicago is happy that Pat Beverley is back home with them. They talking about pray for times like this type comments. Like they really serious about keeping him there and happy about him being there. And I'm just telling you, 2 games in a row against him. What is he going to do to Malik Beasley? What is he going to do to D'Angelo Russell? What is he going to do to the people that replaced him? It doesn't matter how many points you think he's going to score. It's about how bad he's going to hound the other team. How bad is he going to hound D'Lo? How bad is he going to hound Beasley? How bad is he going to hound Schroeder? He's going to take out all his frustrations on us. And I'm not certain we're going to beat the Chicago Bulls 2 games in a row. I'm just telling you that right now. I'm not sure. I'm not certain of that. The way that they're playing, the way that DeRozan and Levine are healthy for the first time all season, Caruso's healthy, and they've added Pat Beverley. They're using Kobe White. He's shooting and hitting shots. Patrick Williams is healthy. Derrick Jones is winning games with shot blocking. Stuff like that on the road. They beat the Philadelphia 76ers on the road. Another team that won a game on a shot block right before we see them. Because the Phoenix Suns just won a game on a shot block against the Orlando Magic, and the Bulls just won a game on a shot block against the Philadelphia 76ers. Right on time for us to see these teams. Right on time. Everybody's talking about how serious the Chicago's Bulls are, and we got to go see them twice. So I'm telling you, I think when I looked at picture day, I looked at a team that may have been aware of what it is that I'm talking about. You just glance around the league and look at the teams, man. Glance around and find out and realize that you're the worst team in the flurry right now. Clippers, Timberwolves, Dallas, us, New Orleans, Utah, Phoenix. All those teams, we're the ones playing the worst right now. We're the ones losing to teams we ain't got no business losing to. And as I mentioned in the previous video, so are the teams at the top. So they're running into these teams and they're losing to them because of the desperation. So you got Kings losing the games like the Timberwolves and stuff like that. You got Denver losing the games like the Clippers. You got Phoenix losing games to the Dallas and stuff. These are the type of things that are happening when you need to win. The teams that are facing the teams that are going up against you are starting to chill out because they got things sewed up. And that is hurting the Lakers a lot because we're running into teams that are supposed to suck. But what's actually happening is they're taking the cuffs off of the team that they've been using all year long. They've been tanking a certain way. They've been waiting on guys to come back all this time. Stuff like that. That's who we're running into. Chicago Bulls are finally healthy for the first time in their whole season. We're running them in. Got Karl-Anthony Towns getting ready to come back. He'll probably want to play against us. Run into him then. You know, these are the type of things like, yo, Utah. As I said in another video, Agbaji's playing like Reggie Miller or something. He's hitting threes left and right, helping the team win. Where was this all season long? He wasn't doing this at no point in time until we got to see them at the final end of the season twice. Now he's balling. It's like this. The schedule makers were trying to put us in a position to have an advantage by giving us a schedule a certain way. But they don't know who these teams are going to be at the end of these seasons. And there's something to be said for shutting off the tank. Rockets and teams like that, when they get to a point where they've won enough, or they've lost enough, and now it's time to win, that's where we're at. So you get to the end of the season, that's something that we need to learn. The tanking teams stop tanking around middle March, and they start playing like they're serious. So don't think of them as tanking throughout the entire season, because that does have an expiration date before the season ends. Type of stuff, man. You got to be ready for it. So, these next 10 games, I don't know if we're going to go 500 on these games. Half of them are at home, and the tougher ones are the home games. The road games are the games you probably, it's just like, man, obviously this Phoenix game is important. Obviously these 2 Chicago games are important. If we can get all 3 of these games, you're going to feel fantastic. That's what it is. If we can get all 3 of these games, we're going to really feel good. But if we drop 2 of these 3 games, or we drop all 3 of these games, we are out of here. That's it. Because this is the homestand. Then you got 5 road games. If you can't win these home games, if you can't beat Phoenix, you can't beat Chicago at home, that's your season. That's your season, LA. I'm going to tell y'all right now, that's all it is to it. We can fight to the end, and hopefully we win the 2 Utah games, the Timberwolves game, but I'm telling you, them teams, at that point, they're going to have more momentum than you, based on what I've said about the picture day and the overall energy. If we lose these games and we run into those teams, they're going to be the ones with the strength, believing in themselves. We're going to be the ones thinking we're out of here. It just is what it is. That's just how the psychology sets up. So, hey, I do believe that we're watching the very end of the LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Laker era. I think that's what we're seeing right now. I'm not going to hold nobody. Y'all know I'm a super pessimist when it comes to this team, and I don't mind telling the truth. This is what I think I see. I think we're in the last stages of LeBron and AD's tenure in LA, and I think people need to take a good snapshot of seeing those guys on this bench in these last couple games, because it's going to be the last time you see them there. That's what I really think, man. I think this is over. I think it's over. I think Bron's going to find himself somewhere else next season. I think Anthony Davis is probably going to be traded too, because it just doesn't make any sense to go forward with this core being this fragile. We got a roster this good. We're this close to making the playoffs, and we still can't make the playoffs because we can't get everybody on the floor, and we can't get everybody playing well. The guys who are on the floor aren't playing well. You know what I'm saying? And it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at this point to go forward. You got a rookie coach. You know damn well he's not going to be ready to win next year. He wasn't ready to win this year. He ain't going to be ready to win next year. Are we going to run this whole thing back, keeping him as coach, and then proceed to hope that he's made up all of, he's learned everything he needs to learn to be a better coach? Is that our plan going into next season? Because if it is, it ain't a good one based on what we've seen this season. It's a bad thing. You gotta unfortunately remove him from the situation and get yourself a win now coach. And then you gotta hope that core can stay healthy to make that make sense. Which is a bad bet. It's a bad bet. A part of me hopes I'm wrong, a part of me hopes I'm not. Because what it really comes down to is, do I believe in the core? Nah. I believe in them when they're healthy. I don't believe they'll ever be healthy. That's it. That's all. I believe in them when they're healthy. I don't believe they'll ever be healthy. And I'm not emotional about it. I grew up on Shaq and Kobe. I had to watch Shaq and Kobe take off the uniform. Pau Gasol, watched him take off the uniform. You know what I mean? I didn't watch Eddie Jones get traded. I wasn't happy about that. I was very unhappy about it. Still am. We traded Eddie Jones for Glenn Rice rental just so Glenn Rice can get a championship and then leave us, go to New York and talk crap for the rest of his career? Nah, give me back Eddie Jones. like that. I still have those thoughts in my mind. So if you think I'm not gonna let go of anybody on this roster for any reason at all, you better think again. You better think again. Ain't nobody here that can't leave. Nobody. There's nobody I want to sign to a bad contract. There's nobody I want to see stay here if I only expect them to play 30 games. There's nobody I want to see stay here because they're overly talented and I can't stand to see nobody else in uniform. Ain't none of that existing here. None of that. None of that exists. All we have is this uniform, and 17 banners, and a need to get 18 sooner than the Celtics, and that's it, man. That's it. And Ballmer with endless pockets down the hall. That's what it is. That's all it is for us. So I don't feel nothing. I want our team to be better. Whoever can help us be as good as we need to be, that's who I welcome in the uniform at this point. I don't care, bro. I could care less. I don't care. What I do not want is small ball. What I do not want is ham rotations. What I do not want is old man basketball. What I do not want is drop coverage. What I do not want is bad role players. That's it. Everything else, I'm pretty sure I can live with for the most part. But there's certain things I can't live with, and a lot of those things are here. Injury problems, stuff like that. It's like, yo, we need reliable players. We need durable guys. We need young players. We need players who can be long and jump and have a future. All that killer instinct. You know what I mean? These are traits that just must be here if we're serious about 18. And so that's what it is, man. Let's get our foundation. Let's reset our timeline. I'm past this season. If I'm being real with everybody, I'm already there. I'm already there. Because for me, if we're not playing for a championship, it's a failure. There's no middle ground. If we're not absolutely the best team in the league, then we need to be resetting our situation or recalibrating for the next season to be that. That's all I'll ever accept when this is what we're talking about. If we're somebody else, if we're talking about the Timberwolves or the Magic or the Kings, we lower our expectations and we increase what it is that we're willing to do to get that first championship. But for us, championships are like chips in a bag. If you only give me one, it's not going to fill me up. I need a whole bag. So that's where we're at, man. There's no disappointment. We won one championship with this core. A mighty championship indeed. It stays up forever in Laker lore. But what we will not do is continue to tumble forward as if we think year 21 at age 39 is what we need to be trying to circle everything around. Say, this is the guy for this situation. And we're going to pair him up with Anthony Davis after what we just saw right here. And then go forward with another season with Darvin Ham and just assume championship. I am not that type of stupid. None of us are. You can have your heart wrapped up in this core. You can have your heart wrapped up in everything working out with Ham. But at the end of the day, if it ain't going to lend to a championship, we don't have happy to be here type of mentality expectations. We ain't happy to be here. We are here to dominate. We're here to destroy the field. And if we're not living up to that, then we're failing ourselves. And there's a lot of guys who come to this uniform and they got their own ideas about what it is. They're coming here to get off the court money. They're coming here to get off the court stuff going on. Maybe they're coming here to get on the court stuff going on. Whatever the agenda is. But once you get here, they need to be on the timing of what we're talking about. They need to be on this Mamba mentality timing if they're serious. I don't. And look, I hate to be the guy. And when I say I hate to be the guy, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I hate to be the guy that jumps on the people who don't have confidence, who are going through mental health moments, who are down on themselves. Because for me, y'all know, if you follow me, that's my thing. I deal with that. So the last thing I want to be is a deterrent to that. But it gets to a point where when you're in certain arenas, you cannot avoid pressure. You can't avoid criticism. You can't avoid the exaggeration of one's production in someone's eyes versus the opposite of that, where you'll do so much and people won't give you the credit, give the next guy the credit. This is the environment. This is just what you sign up for when you're making NBA money, particularly if you're a top echelon player. I look at Anthony Davis and I think he's dealing with his confidence. I think he might be dealing with his mental health. I think he might be down on himself. And I don't think the pressure that we're applying is helping. But I don't know how else to express the facts. We need him to react. We need him to react well to what the pressure is. We need him to believe in himself and play his best so we can reach our expectations and goals. So if this place is toxic for him, I look at him no different than Russell Westbrook. He probably needs to go somewhere else so he can have less expectations and be a happier person playing basketball. I don't have no problem with people being happier people playing basketball. You know what I'm saying? I have no problem with that. I know that we're a pressure cooker. I want the people who are ready to jump in the pressure cooker. That's what I'm telling you. I don't want to change because I have a compassionate heart for people who are dealing with it. Because at the end of the day, they need to not be in a pressure cooker. That's what it really comes down to. I'm, BDF, am not going to jump into that situation if I know I'm not ready for the pressure. That's not the environment for me. You see what I'm saying? I could root for that on the sidelines. This is my position in that space. But once I get in it and the pressure's on me, maybe I don't handle it as well. One has to have self-awareness and not ask for too much. And when it comes to Anthony Davis, that's been the running thing we're talking about. Is he asking for too much, keeping this Laker uniform thing going when we know we don't have everything we need and the pressure's on him to win? If we had everything we needed, the front office making good, quick decisions, he would have more. He would be able to do more. It would trickle down to us being more appreciative of him. I know this. But that ain't nothing we talking about because at the end of the day, he has to mask the mistakes of everyone around him because that's his job. If he can't do that because he's in his feelings, we have a problem. I'm telling you, if the feeling is that you're not happy because people want you out, you got to do things to make people want to keep you here. It's not just as simple as people rejecting you. That's what it comes down to. A guy like Anthony Davis cannot be mad at his brother LeBron James if LeBron James agreed to trade you because we agreed to trade you because it makes sense to do so. Not because you're a bad guy. Not because we don't like you. It's because the timeline, the circumstance, and everything in the math shows us this is the right thing to do. Maybe. If that's what it is. But what I'm telling them is that's what it shows me. So if Bron signed off on that, I signed off on it too, bro. And it is what it is. We need to be surgical about how we approach this circumstance or the Lakers aren't going to reach their goals, man. They're not going to reach their goals. That's the point. You're here to help the Lakers as an organization reach their goals. If you just want to reach an NBA team, get on an NBA team, help them reach anybody's NBA team goals, and you got to go to anybody's old NBA team, bro. Go to the Pacers. You get them that first championship, you're the best player they ever had. They putting you up there with Reggie Miller. You know what I'm saying? This ain't that. And we're not going to turn into that for you. We're not going to turn into that for Russell. It's not going to happen. This is a pressure cooker. So if you plan on being in here, be ready for what it comes with it. All free agents, everybody, whatever level you want. This ain't the place to come to if you don't believe in yourself. If you don't believe in the confidence that comes with meeting the pressure of winning situations. You're putting on Mamba skin, friends. This ain't regular shoes. You're putting on Mamba skin. If you're not ready to fill those shoes, do not ask for what comes with this place. This ain't for you. Go to the Big Apple. Go to the Clippers. Go anywhere else where the expectations aren't, you better beat the Celtics in most championships ever. Because as long as that's the case, that's what I'm singing. And if I'm singing that, that's what they're going to be singing. I'm telling you, we're going to keep that up. We ain't letting the Laker lure die. We ain't letting the Mamba mentality die. We're not going to take our eye off the ball. We're not going to take our eye off Larry O. Ever. As long as my head is bald, we're going after that thing. And my hair ain't growing back. BDF 44. I thank y'all for watching. I'm out.